I want to cover a message to all the young millennials and everyone younger than a millennial right now. And coming from someone who is just turned 37, and you're getting older and older every year, your body changes, your metabolism changes, a lot of things about you changes. You become wiser, but then again, your car gets a little older, right? After so long, you just kind of go through some wear and tear. And so I think it's important for me to share some insight to all the younger generation who's watching this. I'm not that old, but I can tell you at 30, around 37, you start feeling the difference. You come to a point where right now, if you're younger, if you're a millennial or younger, there are certain things that you just don't understand. Like why people like to stay home. You know what I mean? Or why people become content or settled with what they have right now. And your thought process expands. Like you start thinking, 3 years, 5 years down the line versus what are we going to do this weekend? You know what I mean? Or what are we going to do at summertime? And so you start thinking longer because you realize how fast time flies. And when you're young, I think it goes a little bit slow, only because you're up and you're doing things for longer durations of the day, because you have more stamina, and you just have the whole world before you. But I want to share something with you that I think is important, is that your time right now, your energy right now, your insight right now, and your advantage right now to start your path and realize that when you get older, it actually does get a little tougher to realize some of your goals and what you're trying to aspire to be. And a lot of it has to do, it could be with your health, whether it be physical, mentally, or it can also be due to the fact that maybe you have kids at that time, or maybe you become married and now you and your future spouse or your significant other have now responsibilities that eat up your time in the day. And that could be ultimately the reason why, when you get older, you're okay with just chilling. You're okay with just kicking back. Like you take what you used to take for granted as a younger person, and you really appreciate that. Like when the kids go to sleep and you get a half hour to an hour, just some quiet time. And that's something that you actually favor when you get a little bit older. I know it sounds weird right now. It's a little bit foreign to what you're used to, because you probably like loud music. You probably like chilling. When it turns 11 o'clock, it's still early to you. Enjoy those days. You know what I mean? Like, get that experience out the way. But at the same time, you have to remain focused. You got to remain focused on what it is you want, because there will be a time where, it seems far away right now, but you too will become 30 years old or 35 years old or 37 years old. And you will look back at the choices you made. You will look back at where you invested your time. I look back 10 years ago to 2008, and man, I mean, I was 27 years old, but still at the time, my priorities weren't necessarily in as a disciplined line as it is today. Like, I hustled, I still work, but I used a lot of my spare time to do bullshit things, like things that I probably could have invested towards other means. But it's not a reason to regret, right? The last thing you want to have in your life is regret. And so that's why I'm making this video for you, is I want to share with you, if you're 27 years old right now or younger, hearing from somebody who's got 10 years on you or above you or past you, however you want to look at it, one of the best lessons that I've learned from a younger age and still learning today is that you don't want to take things for granted. Don't take your health for granted. Don't take the extra time you have for granted. Use it for what you want. You're going to hear a lot throughout your life, and when you get older, you can really kind of absorb it, and what the message was. You understand the meaning. And it's like, your eyes become open. You start looking at the world a little bit differently. And I'm not saying, don't go to parties or anything like that. Go to parties, go do you. But at the same time, remember what the whole game is about. And the game is to get yourself lined up. Get yourself lined up at an earlier time so that you're not stuck like a lot of the retired people, or people who are supposed to be retired right now, who are working at Sam's Club, or they're working at Costco. You know what I mean? No offense to them. I just make sure that you are not in that boat. And you can increase the chances of your success if you start at a younger age. I had mentioned in my last video that I'm reading this book. It's called The Outliers. I definitely recommend you check it out. They got audio books. I'm not necessarily reading it. But what it's talking about is that there's a magic number, and it's 10,000 hours of practice within a specific trade, that until you become a master. And so that actually works out to about 10 years. And if you dedicate and you focus and you are disciplined enough to put in your time of practice within a specific niche, whatever that niche is, internet marketing, something that has to do with internet selling, engineering, whatever your niche is, or whatever you are most interested in, is something that you will eventually want to do when you get older. And so if you could find that right now, 10 years ago, I didn't necessarily like internet marketing. I didn't really understand it. I didn't know it. I didn't like social media. But at the end of the day, what I do understand now is that if I look 10 years back, if I would have started 10 years ago, who knows what kind of brand I would have right now. But that's okay. Again, I'm not looking back with regret. I'm looking back that, I had a lot of time that I could have put towards this craft and this niche and establish myself, so that by the time I was 37, I'd be able to have an established brand. I'd be a pro, I'd be an expert. I'd put in my 10,000 hours per se. And this can be you. So before you get to that age, if you're looking at it right now, like wondering, like, should I even start this? Should I begin it? Well, the way to answer that question is if you really have any passion towards that topic. Meaning, does it inspire you? Does it motivate you? Like if you could do it all day and you didn't have to worry about money, would that be something that you would do all day? And I think sales and marketing is something that I would do all day. Like, I love it. And even if I didn't have to work anymore, I would still be in the business of selling things, because I understand that there's a demand for certain things, and as long as you could provide value, then you have leverage to earn whatever compensation or whatever lifestyle you dream to have and to capture. And so, I don't want to get sentimental on you or anything. I don't want to be like the old dude and be like, oh man, this motherfucker said don't party. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that really recognize that you have a lot of time. For the next 10 years, you can decipher what you want to do right now, but I could tell you that 10 years flies. And so when you get back by that 10 years and you reach that age of 35 or 30 or 37 or however old you are right now, shit, you could be 37 right now with me. You'll probably, you will agree that 10 years does fly. And you look back at that last 10 years and, even though you could achieve great things, you're still going to demand more for yourself. This is just natural. And so how do you get to a point where 10 years from now, you're not going to look back and just be like, man, I could have done this or I could have done that. How do you get to that point? You get to that point by experimenting. You got to try new things. Don't be stubborn. Don't be at a point where you feel like you got it all figured out. I'm damn near 40 years old and I don't have it figured out yet. But when I do figure it out, and I know I will, I'm going to be in a position where I can continue bringing value, whether it's to my audience or to my family or to others who buy the service and product that I'm selling at that time, or I'm promoting at that time, or I'm marketing at that time. And so I already know I'm going to be within this niche. This is the niche that keeps me motivated. I wake up and I go to bed and I think about it a lot, and it's because I'm eager to put in my 10,000 hours, and I'm not trying to rush it. I understand that at this age, 10 years ago I didn't think this way, but now at this age I understand what it means to just do you and don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks, because what everyone else thinks is not a determination of how successful you're going to be. What really matters is just you doing it, and you getting past that barrier that's stopping you from doing something, because you might be intimidated by the thoughts of others, or you might be intimidated by, you know, being judged by others. And I can tell you right now, shit, it don't mean shit. It really doesn't mean shit. So don't fret over how you might come off or how you may appear. Just as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're doing good, you know, your time will come, and all this pain, all this hustle, all this you know, this hard work will eventually pay off. And I can tell you that right now. You know, so check out my last video, the one that I posted just before this, and it'll go a little bit more in detail as to why, you know, it's necessary to have the right mindset and the right mind frame, and understand that time, you have a lot of time right now at your young age of being a millennial or younger, and it's a matter of what you do within that time, because there will be other generations that come. And when those generations come, you want to look back and be like, damn, you know, did I take advantage of every single opportunity that I could have? Or did I opt to, you know, do Netflix and chill? Or did I opt to, you know, go hang out a little bit more? Or go to that extra party? Did I really need to go to Coachella and go through that 3-year phase of just raving? You know, when you look back, you want to know that you put in the time and work, and you put towards that 10,000 hours that's going to bring you to the level that you want to be. So that's my message to you youngsters. You know, I miss being young, but at the same time, I'm happy that I'm older. I'm happy that I'm wiser, and I got some stripes under my belt. And so I hope to deliver to you some value through those stripes that I've earned. And if you can maneuver through your course, you know, that much more efficiently, or avoid the pitfalls and avoid the time wasting that I may have experienced throughout my life, then damn, this is a snapshot of the future for you. So I hope that this message finds you well, and I hope that you're doing what you really love. I hope that you understand that your time right now will soon pass, and just like the pain and the hustle and the grind that will soon pass, you will be at a crossroad where you're going to look back, you know, in the last 10 years and be like, yo, did I do everything that I could have done? And if you do it right now, you'll have a 10-year head start on me. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.